In this video, I'm going to explain how to multiply using the doubling and halving method. Doubling and halving method has a few tips. So you want to look for even numbers, numbers ending in 5, because the doubling and halving method basically takes numbers that might be trickier for you to multiply in your head and for you to basically find ways to make those numbers more friendly for you to be able to multiply in your head. And usually even numbers and numbers ending in 5 are easier for you to multiply in your head. I'll show you some examples. As you can see, I have two arrays here. One has 5 up and 3 across, which means I have 15 arrays here. And this one over here has 4 up and 4 across, meaning I have a value of 16 over here. Let's say we wanted to multiply 15 times 16, okay? Now, I don't know about you, but multiplying 15 times 16 in my head is something that's very tricky for me to do, right? There aren't a lot of tricks to multiplying 15 times 16 in your head. So I'm going to apply the doubling and halving method here by doubling this side over here, so multiplying the 15 times 2, and halving this side over here. So basically what you're doing when you're doing this doubling and halving method is you're shifting around the value in these 15 and 16 here to give us numbers that are easier for us to do in our head. So if I'm dividing 16 by 2, I'm basically just dividing it in half and getting rid of half. So see how I've highlighted half of these yellow circles here? And I delete that. So now basically how many circles do I have now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have a value of half over here. A value is what something is worth. A value of 8 over here. Now if I double this side, that basically means I take all of my value over here and I double it. I multiply it by 2. See how I have double the amount on this side? I had 15 and now I have twice as much. So I have 30 over here. So now my new multiplication equation over here is 30 times 8. And so whatever I get when I multiply 30 times 8 is going to be the same answer as what 15 times 16 would be, because I'm not adding any more values to the numbers I'm multiplying here. I just shifted the value from this side and moved it over here. So I'm still multiplying the same values, just a different way, okay? So I know that 8 times 3 is 24, so I know 8 times 30 is 240. So that means that 15 times 16 is also 240. Because I just took the 15 and 16 up here, and I just shifted the value. I moved some of the arrays from over here, the value, and I moved it over here, and now I'm multiplying the same values, same overall value, and I'm getting the same answer both ways. But it's easier for me to do 30 times 8 in my head than 15 times 16. Now, some of you might be out there thinking, oh, I totally get this. And some of you might be feeling a little stuck. So hang in there with me for the next 2 slides, okay? Okay, so let's say I have 35 times 12. I don't know about you, but 35 times 12 in my head feels pretty tricky. So I'm going to rewrite this over here. Okay, and I am going to double one side and half the other. I'm going to choose to double my 35. So I'm going to times this side by 35, and I'm going to divide this side by 2, because I know that 12 divided by 2 gives me 6. And let's pretend like I'm really good at my multiples of 6. I can multiply things by 6 in my head really well. So I know that if I make this 12 a 6, I might be able to do this problem in my head, okay? So I have 6 on this side now, and now 35 times 2, I know gets me 70. Oh, wow, look at that. I have basically 7 times 6 is 42. So 70 times 6, it would have to be 420. Do you see that? I doubled this side and turned it into 6. And I halved this side and turned it into 6. And I doubled this side and turned it into 70. Okay? As long as you're doing one operation to one side, if you're then and the other to the other, then it's fine. You can't multiply both sides by 2 or divide both sides by 2. You have to make sure that you're dividing one side and multiplying the other by 2. Okay? So we'll do one more. Let's do 150 times 36. Okay, so on this one, I'm going to divide. I'm going to half this side. So 36 divided by 2 is going to give me 18. And then 150 times 2 is going to give me 300. Okay, now it is a little easier. 300, so basically 3, or my multiples of 3s, and 18, that's a little bit easier than 150 and 360, but let's say that I'm still not super comfortable with my 18s. I'm going to write this for you guys. What you can do in this case is you can actually do it again. You can half and double each of these again. So I'm going to divide this one in half again, and that is going to give me 9. And then I'm going to double this side, and that's going to give me 600. And that looks so much easier to me because I'm really good at my 9s, and I know that 9 times 6 is going to give me 54. So I know that 600 times 9 is going to give me 5,400. So that means that 150 times 36 is the same thing as 600 times 9, which is 5,400. Okay? All right, this is a little bit of a more complex strategy. So if you want to see any specific problems, feel free to leave them in my comments, and I'm happy to solve those for you as well.